Hi, good afternoon. Today is June 19th, 2025, and it's about 2:09 p.m. East Central Time. This video is part of the Rapid Fire Tips for Law Enforcement series that I've been working on. And this is going to be a very short video. It's just something that I found today, and I want to put it out there just in case it's something. So this, it was basically a ruse to insert, I think, a sophisticated bug in the house. And the ruse goes like this. So at some point, shortly after Marcelo was born in 2021, the pediatrician, Kelsey Siebold, controlled by the network, as I mentioned this morning, diagnosed him with a rare hemangioma. That's it's a benign growth inside of his little throat that caused him some difficulties breathing. I think that the diagnosis was fake, like it wasn't an hemangioma. They administered to him a modified vaccines to cause the difficulty breathing, to then diagnose him with that, to then put him under anesthesia and create a series of situations for me that wouldn't allow me to compete with them on the business area. All this only because I was working on keyopinionleaders.com at the time, and WebMD was upset because I was going to take all their Google search keywords away. And that's a $3 billion a year operation, WebMD.com. So they did that, right? So they hurt my child with the vaccine at Kelsey Siebold to cause that problem. And then when that happened, of course, I didn't put him under anesthesia because I read some of the papers that I crawled doing Key Opinion Leaders, that putting a child of that young, he was 10 weeks old at the time, putting a child that young under anesthesia could cause learning disabilities afterwards. So I didn't do that. And all this is documented on the website. And the doctor's house is marked in the geo index of Elon Musk. I'm not speculating here, like they did this on purpose. But anyhow, that happened. The pediatrician recommended cleaning the air system, like the air conditioning duct. And I remember, and I checked this that I'm going to say today, because of the incident with the pool guy, the information I got from the informant. I described that in the video this morning. So I started checking the AC to see if there was anything strange, right? And I started checking it inside of the house. So I remembered what happened as I was checking this. So the doctor recommended cleaning the duct of the air conditioning system of the house, and she explained that dust could make the condition worse. It could make it harder for him to breathe. So she recommended cleaning. Of course, I looked in the internet, and the top company in the search results in Google, I called that company. Of course, they control the ranking with Liana Technologies and Google, even from inside of Google, right? So they could place any company they wanted me to call and at the top. And they knew I was going to call the number one result because I used to work for Google Search, and I trust that algorithm implicitly, right? Because I worked in it, I know it. So I called the company, and they came. And then when the guy came, he made this strange recommendation. He said that he had a device that it functions with ultraviolet light, that it's installed in the duct of the AC, like the main outlet of the AC unit in the attic, right? Like here above the ceiling. And it's installed in the duct, like in the main outlet. And supposedly this UV light kills all the bacteria and mold and things and keeps the system cleaner and all that. Of course, I bought it and he installed. I was doing some testing. I cannot really bench test it in full because I will have to dismount it, and I don't want to like mess up the AC because it's summer here and it's very hot here. I would have to leave the house if I'm not able to put it back together. But I did some tests on it, and it seems like that device transmits radio frequency. And of course, I understand, right? Because of the positioning of the device, it's above the house, in the middle of the house. So basically, if you look at the house from above, this device has a direct full 360 degrees view, so to speak, of the entire spectrum. So it's an ideal point to plant an interception or a monitoring device for radio frequency, right? Because of the altitude and the positioning in the middle of the house. And the AC is positioned there because it's the most efficient way to distribute the ducts across all the rooms in the house. So anyhow, they installed 2 of these devices, and they are up in the AC system, and they're there. I'm not going to remove them, but just posting this in case law enforcement ever looks at these things, they can go directly to those units and check them. The other unit, a similar situation, was and this one is documented in the website. is the motor for the garage opener. And some time ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago, when I was outside, like when I was in New York or something like that, I wasn't here. And when I came back, the motor started malfunctioning, like it didn't work anymore. So my former partner told me, hey, the garage opener stopped working, right? I didn't see when it failed. I wasn't here, but she told me it had failed. Of course, I had it replaced. That device also has a very strong radio frequency transmitter inside that is transmitted to one of these houses over here next to me. So that's the other bug they planted. So they put that one in the back. That one I've known for almost a year. But the one in the attic, in the AC units, like on top of the duct, I just found it today. So I wanted to mention that. Thank you so much.